Been in Proverbs the last couple days and been through 4 chapters, and there is a theme that keeps coming into my heart, and it has to do with the heart. When we think of the heart, the Bible talks a lot about the heart, and we got to stop and ask, is it the heart that is this organ in our body that really is our lifeline? Can't live without it. You know, it pumps blood, makes sure that all the other organs are functioning right, and yeah, like we can't live without our heart. Our heart is absolutely a vital part of our health and well-being. But when the Bible talks about the heart, it's not talking about the actual organ. It's talking about the whole of a person. It is a person's will, it is a person's thoughts, it is a person's actions, right? And all of those things are connected. A person's will affects a person's thoughts. A person's thoughts affect a person's actions. They're all interconnected. So I saw a text this morning in Proverbs 4, and the writer, Solomon, was saying this in the context of a man who meditates on the Lord's instruction and obeys the Lord's instruction. A healthy heart, biblically speaking, is one that meditates on God's word and obeys God's word. What flows out of that person's life is goodness, is pleasing to the Lord. So I started thinking about my life, and you might be thinking about your life, and what's flowing out of your heart, what's flowing out of my heart. And I gotta be honest, at times, junk flows out of my heart. Why? Well, it's likely because I'm not meditating on God's word and obeying his word as I should. Because you, just like me, get caught up. We all get caught up. Our flesh desires the wrong things. Our flesh desires to open Instagram and scroll. Our flesh desires to turn on the news and see what some of these journalists are saying. Our flesh desires to turn on SportsCenter and just kind of veg out and check on all the statistics of all the scores and everything going on in the sports world. You know, our flesh desires to open that secular reading material, all of the celebrity books and magazines and all of this junk, rather than to open God's word. And there are consequences for that. You know, the Bible's very clear that what we look at and what we listen to and who we surround ourselves with affects our behaviors. You put junk in, junk's gonna come out. I mean, there's no way around that. That is a biblical truth. And so it's important for you and I to ask ourselves, what is it that we are watching? What is it that we are listening to? Who are we being influenced by? And if we're honest, most of us can probably say that we are much more influenced by outside individuals, outside voices, outside personalities than we are the Lord. And our behaviors in our life show for that. And so what do? I've been telling you, we got to put down all of this nonsense, junk, material, and pick up God's word. We must do as the writer of Colossians, the Apostle Paul, said in Colossians 1, that we must allow the word of Christ, the scriptures, the holy scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, we must allow that to dwell in us richly. We must be dominated by God's word. And listen, I'm not trying to say that that's what I do perfectly, because I don't. What I'm trying to tell you is I know that you and I, we need that daily bread. Apart from that daily bread, we can do nothing of significance, of eternal value, nothing pleasing to the Lord. And here's the hard part, is that you and I are bent towards not going to God's word. We're bent towards opening Instagram. We're bent towards opening the newspaper. We're bent towards turning on the news. We're bent towards turning on every other show and every other thing and getting into everything other than God's word, because that's what our flesh craves and desires. So my friends, join me in this examination. Join me in committing to put God's word first. Because as Jesus said, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so what are we putting in our heart? What are you putting in your heart? What am I putting in my heart?